Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here this evening again to do what we do best. In our space this evening, we'll have George Nelson, an educator and a freelance journalist, will be talking to us this week. Last week we had, and also we're expected to have Dr. Rupert Francis with us shortly. And of course, Owen Speed. I'm not too sure about Mr. Speed because he hadn't been responding, but the floor is open for him. Last week was a bit fiery when we were talking to Dr. Nelson, who does not share the same sentiment as the people that organizing the protests. Well, as you all know, there is a planned protest this week, the Saturday the 15th in Washington. And so we will talk a little bit about it. I'm hoping Dr. Francis come in and share his views and the not his views, but the information and the protest, time and date, location, and all that. But here to join us this evening is no other than Mr. George Nelson. Um, Mr. Nelson, how you doing, sir? Hello, I think you mute your phone. You're muted. You're muted. Was it me that muted you? Let me see. I don't think it was me that muted you. You're muted, sir. There's something that mutes you. You're muted. I don't know what to tell you. Unplug the connection. Unplug something. You're muted. And we were just having a conversation before. I don't know. Mr. Larson is having some issue with his device. I can't unmute it. It's muted on your side. It's muted on your side. It's muted on your side, sir. I don't know what to tell you. Let me call Mr. Larson so that he could. We were talking very good. But anyways, this week we have while he work on that, this week we have a plan protest, and as you know, the protest is a big issue, a concern for many. Many claim that Brand Jamaica is being damaged by the protesters, and so we have. Yeah, yes, I there's a mute button that you had touched. You might want to unplug. You might want to unplug your earpiece and see, or get out and come back in.
Let's see something.
Yeah, it's still there. I'm hearing you.
All right, what I do then I just keep the mic and I speak and keep the phone and
Yeah, but it's not gonna work like that. You have to log out and come back in to remove the mute because you're muted. You're muted. We're not hearing you at all. So as you know, I don't know what's going on with that. We're gonna have to remove Mr. Larson from and then give him a chance to come back. But like I was saying, last week was really a fiery moment when we tried to talk to Dr. Nelson. One would said I should have somebody neutral and the ground with us. Oh, there we are, handsome guy. What, my handsome guy? Mr. Handsome. Dr. Francis.
What's going on? No noise, what?
May I hear you now? So you have a problem with calling you handsome? You have a problem?
Can you
I
hear
don't
me?
know. Huh? I'm seeing you now. We're hearing you. We're seeing you. Hear you. So what happened? Good evening, Debbie. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. Yes, sir. You not hear me?
Can you?
Yes. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? Let me see. Let me see this. Let me try to see what is going on over here. If it is indeed on my end, I don't know if it is. Hopefully it's not. You still not hear me?
I'm hearing you now.
Okay, so there has to be some issue with muting or unplug. Okay. All right. So we have George Lawson joining us. But Dr. Francis, what's going on for this week? The campaign for this week. Mr. Lawson, you hearing us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Could you back off a little bit? Let me see you. Let me see you on some face. Yes, sir. And send title. Yeah, right there. Right there is good enough. Dr. Nelson, are you familiar with this fine gentleman, Dr. Nelson? Do you have familiar with Mr. Lawson? Have you ever heard of Mr. Lawson before?
You're coming in a little choppy. I don't know why.
I don't know what is happening. Debbie, are you hearing me now? Debbie, could you tell me if you're hearing me? I don't know. This is so crazy. I might have to let me see if I'm coming in good and
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you good, you know.
You hearing me good?
I'm hearing you good. My friend George Lawson is there looking at me like him don't remember me. That's all right.
Mr. Lawson.
Dr. Francis, I remember you. I'm seeing you, man. But for some reason or the other, you're not coming in clear. That's what I'm telling you. I was even trying to say hello to you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear George. I can hear George.
Okay. All right. Mr. Lawson, I think he's hearing you. I don't know if it's an earpiece or not. Mr. Speed, thank you for joining us tonight. How you doing?
Blessings. I'm good. Good evening to everyone.
I'll turn off.
Yeah, Mr. Lawson, I think you have to cut out some of the fanciness that's going on in your end. I just want to hear real Mr. Lawson.
Okay.
I just want to hear real briefly from Dr. Francis, which would have set the stage for a conversation tonight. Tell us a little bit, Dr. Francis, about the prayer and protest for on the 15th.
Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening. First of all, good evening to my good friend George Lawson. I haven't seen him for how long, George? Maybe 30 odd years or more.
30-something years, nearly 40 years now, right?
Nearly 40 years I have not seen George.
You know,
this is a guy we used to run up and down together, I tell you, so we have history. And so Owen Speed, him just start running, but Owen is speedy, so.
I don't know why you're not coming in. You're not coming in clear at all.
I don't know what is happening.
Mr. Speed, are you hearing Mr. Lawson? Hearing Dr. Francis?
Yes, you need to put some more speed on him thing and come on into. But Godspeed be with you all the same.
Okay, good.
I'm hearing.
I don't know what is happening because I've used it and I shouldn't have a problem.
I am hearing you. Mr. Speed, hearing you.
I turn it down because
I think the problem is on Mr. Lawson's side, but we want to get going.
Okay. So I just want to, I hope, I don't know where the feedback.
Let me see if I can move to another location and closer to my Wi-Fi.
Okay, all right, do that.
Okay.
Thought you were going to say my wife.
I thought that's
Yeah,
what he was
it
gonna
was
say.
my wife as well, but she don't want to come on. Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
better.
yeah. Well, we don't have a problem. We don't have a problem hearing you. Nice. You have a problem hearing us.
All right.
Oh yeah, I'm hearing him better now. I'm hearing him
Go
better
ahead
now.
and let's see if this will work.
We're hearing you. We're hearing you. Yeah,
Well,
Dr. Francis, just get into it and let us know about.
Let's give an overview of. Well, it's simple. We're having another protest in Washington D.C. And the protesters it's a normal protest that we normally have, a friendly get together. We don't call anybody any names. We don't go get out of whack on anybody. We just talk about the things that we have been talking about for a long time. And that's basically it, you know. Nothing else.
The thing that you're talking about for a long time, could you tell us what that thing is so that we, the listeners and the panelists.
I'm trying to turn on my phones because they don't give us any feedback, okay?
Okay.
All right, no. I'm just saying to you that the protest is just about what I wrote the letter about some time ago.
Okay.
And let me just tell you straight up. Me and George don't agree on this necessarily, but we still care for each other a lot. So let's get that out of the way, okay?
Okay.
I mean, based on where he and I are coming from and the history we have, we are talk about as brethren and so on. He doesn't have to agree, and I don't have to agree with him. That's the point. But we do know, and he may would have done it differently, but what we are doing is that simply going to talk about issues of crime, corruption, the status of what is happening in Jamaica, the areas that we think need improvement and that sort of thing. That's what we're talking about. And we want a dialogue. One of the big things that George will hear tonight is that 3 times I have reached out, others have reached out to have dialogue with the government, and they have refused to have dialogue. Instead, what has happened is that they have sort of caused people to believe that we are trying to ruin brand Jamaica. The latest one is that they're now having this guy, Vegas, I think is trying to come there to be another protest on that. I think that is not a good thing. I don't have a problem with it, but it could be dangerous if people get out of hand. I'm not going to get out of hand, but I do believe that's my personal view on the matter.
Why do you think it's dangerous for Vegas to be present, Dr. Francis?
Because I don't think that Vegas is a real. Hold on. First of all, I don't think that you ask a question. I want to answer it right away.
We have seen in the past where celebrity having celebrities, right? Not a celebrity, but people people like. Well, let us look at Beanie Man. Let us look at some of the others. They have supported the Labour Party, the PNP, and what happened with this time around with Vegas being there? We don't know Vegas to be a day.
Vegas is not in their category. You and I know that. So
but Vegas, what is wrong? Why is anyone fearful of Mr. Vegas being there?
No. You get it wrong. No, you get it wrong. We're not fearful at all. You look at me good. You look like I said anybody.
It's not fearful, but why is it a concern? I'm just asking why is it
it's a concern because he is not it is they were brought him in as a go-to in order to just try to get things out of work.
Yeah, but Dr. Francis, we have counter protesters there before.
Don't bother about Nelson because Nelson is no protester. Nelson is
no. But hold on a minute. Dr. Francis, let us stop the personal attack now.
What do you mean personal attack? I'm not personally attacking anybody, George. George,
let us try and avoid calling
George, I am not personal. George,
last time around. Listen, hold on 1 second, Dr. Francis.
Hold on, Dr. Francis.
There was an interview, nationwide interview with you and Dr. Francis. It got a little ugly. Let us try and keep it. Let us try and demonstrate some degree of sanity here now. Let us try and deal with the issues. Let us try and avoid the name calling, please.
No. Let me ask you a question. Have I called anybody's name apart from Mr. Vegas?
You mentioned Vegas and Dr.
No, Nelson. No. Because he came on last week. He came on last week, and what he did, nobody said tell him that what he did was absolutely wrong. And I have a press release that would make you choke, even you choke, honestly. Anyway, so listen to me. I'm not name calling, and everybody knows that this is the first time. I'm just saying it as it is. We are protesting, and you're having counter protests, and the counter protest is supposed to be paid people like those two persons. They're paid to come there. We are not paid. Simple. And it's going to be in Washington on the same subject. We are not paid. It's people who genuinely want to
do you have proof that they are being paid, Dr. Francis?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Here's the proof.
George.
Let us get
Here's the proof. Do you have proof that they are
Behave yourself, George. Behave yourself.
Sir Larson, let me give Mr. Speed.
Another thing, Dr. Francis, that I'm seeing here, it has this thing has descended into what I would call it would appear as if it's the way you are coming across. It appears as if it's a political tit for tat game being played there. What transpired up in New York here, a couple of weeks ago? We know that the attack that was launched on the government, it's not just there was a lot of name calling there, because I happen to have obtained a copy of the address by certain people and the comments that were made and the name calling there. It's a political war, Dr. Francis.
No. Hold on. Okay. Can I just address that, Mr.
Yeah. Go ahead, because I want to get to Mr. Speed. Hold on, Mr. Nelson. Give him an opportunity to address that before we get to Mr. Speed.
Can I say this to you, Brother Lawson? Did you hear what I said? Did I attack anyone on that occasion?
I'm not accusing you, but there were others.
Hold on. I am asking you. No. I've known you a long time.
No,
I know you.
I'm not pointing a finger at you, Dr. Francis.
Okay, you see? What God is saying, other people may have called names.
Well, hold on, please, guys, let us talk one at a time, because when you talk over each other, the listeners who we need to hear what's going on, they're not hearing you guys when you talk over each other. But before we get to that, Mr. Speed, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, and I'm listening. George, if you could center yourself in the camera, you are being cut off. I just want to mention. So for the viewers who would like to see George's full face, you know.
And before this, we were good. I don't know what, Mr. Larson, you want to try coming in on your phone, because there's a delay. There's a delay with your device. Can you try to log in on your phone? Try to log in on your phone.
You have my here. Okay.
Try to log in on your phone. I'll send him the link via phone, and there's it's evident that the device that he's using is very, very slow. So, yeah, man. So let me ask you, Mr. Speed. There's a protest that is planned for this week. What is your take on it? Are you a supporter of the protest that is being going on, or what is your take on it?
Well, one is I heard George to say, you know, it is a political war or something to that effect. Paraphrasing now. Everything you do in life is politics. Politics is involved in almost everything. It's involved at the church, it's involved at the school, it's involved in every single thing that you do. But if you want to pin it down to political party politics now, that is when it could become dangerous, because people hear their views because they want better. I think the vast majority of those people who were there protesting the first time, they wanted better for their country and for the citizens of the country. I would suspect that and expect no less.
Okay.
So one has to be careful that we don't water down people's legitimate concerns in the face of calling it politics. I am very wary of that. because I went through some of that while I was there trying to get school books for the nation's children and get water tanks so that schools didn't have to be dismissed half day in many instances. And for kids to be able to go to the bathroom, flush the toilets and wash their hands and that kind of thing. I was trying to get things like those, and I was accused of being political. So one has to be very, very careful. There's a thin line, but we have to be careful we don't cross that line. And every single our country is going to get nowhere if everything that is done in protest or in support of an action, we say it is politics, and I'm putting it either way now, then the country is going to be stagnant or it's going to regress. And
Right.
I am wary of people just trying to water down people's concerns, genuine, legitimate concerns. And there are many, many concerns that the people in diaspora are having. And so much to say that I don't support the argument of this thing of barring people with dual citizenship because of these very reasons. The people in who are dual citizens or who migrate to make a living for themselves and their families, many of those people are even more concerned about what happens at home in Jamaica than some of those who are living there and never went anywhere.
Right.
So
Right.
I want to encourage the people who believe that they should protest once it's legitimate and it's cause for concerns. I would like to encourage people to make their voices heard in a respectful way. That's
Right,
my
right.
take on it.
Okay.
But do you think that though doing it outside of Jamaica, doing it abroad, do you think that it's the appropriate place to do it?
Jamaicans abroad are still Jamaicans. Jamaicans abroad are sending back funds daily, minutely to people in Jamaica. So if they realize that there is overdependence on the people abroad, because, for instance, access to health, access to education, access to national security, and those things are getting a beating, then I see where it is absolutely necessary. Anywhere you are in the world, if you feel like making your voices heard, you should make the voice heard. Being silence solves nothing.
Tourism is a big thing, and in Jamaica that we rely on it a lot. Do you think that doing it abroad may have a negative impact on tourism?
Tourism is a big thing, my goodly host. Tourism is a big thing, but remittances are big as well.
Okay, so you're not buying the story that
So if you can take the people's remittances and you can use it to win power or to do anything else with it, and in so many cases people use it and use it well. The remittances I'm referring to. If you can use all of that, then the people abroad should be free to voice their opinions on how the country's resources are being used or misused.
Great. I hear you, and like I said, I'm trying to remain neutral and ask the questions of the people.
You know, Mr. Moderator.
Yes, sir.
You always say you want to remain neutral and all that sort of thing,
Yes.
When you're neutral, you're not going back or you're not going forward, brethren. So let me just ask you, come out and neutral, get in gear. The fact of the matter is, we have an issue. You're a Jamaican, and you can say what you mean and mean what you say. I want to apologize for any kind of a total interruption that we may have had with my friend George. George and I are very good friends regardless of how we speak, because we speak personally like how we speak. But let me say this to you. There is nothing, what Mr. Speed said is very important. Yes, he knows me. How George knows me, I come from political roots. There's no question. I've never lied about it and I will not lie about it. But the question is right now is, am I acting politically? Absolutely not. What I do not like is for people to say things that are not true about anybody. And the fact of the matter is that you have people who they have an aim, they have a, what you call it, a goal. My goal is just to see, listen to me, man. Me, George can tell you, and anybody on this platform can tell you, I'm a barefoot boy from Ochoas. And I'm not ashamed to tell you. And when I tell people that them say it's lie, I tell you, that's not true. I know every nook, every door and Ochoas, and I can tell you some things about Ochoas you'd never believe. And I'm not going down that road. You understand me? But the point I'm trying to make is that they expected me, a person like me who have been through it all, to forget where I'm coming from, and I cannot do it. You understand? I cannot do it. No, I have not gone out there and told the world the things that we have done, I have done in the task force, etc. And because I don't believe in that type of thing, I'm not selling anything. But when I come out and I sit down and I analyze something, I say, listen to me, we're really not going anywhere as a country. Because if you're telling me, just I mentioned, the tourism bringing $4 billion, $4 billion, and remittances bringing $3.5 billion. But
Thank you.
and stays in Jamaica. The 4 point are going away, most are going away to
Thank you. So the net earnings from remittances for Jamaica is far more.
Exactly.
Than what tourism brings. Tourism brings a gross. And you can look at the gross, but what about what is going out of the country?
Exactly. So
Mr. Lawson, are you here with us?
No, I'm not here. I'm not. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not. I'm just not.
I hear you better now, though, George. I'm hearing you better now.
I hearing a lot of echoing. I mean, you hearing me, but I don't know.
You are. But what happened, Mr. Lawson? You have to turn off one of your devices. Right, as it is right now, you have two devices, and I have to mute one.
Guys, I try to right. I'm going to turn off the other one, but the first one here that you said wasn't working. I went and tried to use the phone.
No, you're better. No, you're better.
You're much better
George,
now.
you are better.
We just need you to go back some more so that we can see your face.
I don't know why.
You just need to go back some more so that we can see your face. Because we like to see who we're talking to. So if you could go back some more. Go back some more. Yes, there you are. There you are. Come, move a little bit to the what shoulder is that? To the
other side, the other way.
To the left side. Move a little bit to the left. Yes, yes, there you are.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. So listen to me now. We all of us here love Jamaica. Can we at least accept that?
Yes.
Whether we are in the United States or what, we accept that. And I know, and I mean, even when me and George quarrel sometimes, him knows where we coming from. We love Jamaica. So how come all of a sudden we could turn around and not love Jamaica? That don't make no sense. Right? So people must be truthful. And I mean, not talking about George now. I am just saying, I want to see Jamaica. Listen, we are first in everything. First in track for male and female. We have the best climate you could think of. Most of the year round. The best water. When we have the water, we have the best water coming out of our street. It is so beautiful. We have so many things wonderful about Jamaica. Why would I want to destroy that? All I want to say is that the majority of people in Jamaica should be benefiting from it, not just some, and others are not benefiting. And that is what is happening. And I'm against that. I'm against it.
I must be honest with you, Dr. Francis. I'm not hearing at all. I don't know what is going on, but it's just choppy, extremely choppy.
Well, let me tell you, we are hearing each other, so it's evidently it's one of your devices. It's one of your devices because we don't have Dr. Francis don't have a problem, and Mr. Speed don't have a problem. So it's one of your devices that is acting up.
I'm not even. I can see you, Mr. Sutherland, but I'm not even. It's always coming in and chopping out, in and out.
Well, maybe his volume is too much up. Dennis, maybe his volume.
You want to lower your volume? You want to lower the volume on the device? I don't know. We were.
The volume. Reduce the volume.
It's dropping badly.
Yeah. I think you should come in on your phone. Close out this device and we will continue the show and you come in on your phone. Please, close out the device and come in on your phone. See,
Wait, come again.
Close out this device, come in on your phone. Your phone is a better, the phone always work better. I sent you the link.
I tried using the picture wasn't coming. I mean,
I send you the link on WhatsApp. I send you the link on WhatsApp.
Just click the link on WhatsApp. That's it.
I'm seeing myself quite all right here, you know. I'm seeing
yeah, but we're not hearing you. We're not hearing you.
Just the sound that's not.
Well, hold on. Hello, Dennis. He can reduce his thing there and go on the phone. Just reduce his volume and then go on the phone and talk through the phone.
Yeah, but it's gonna. Oh, yeah. If you reduce it, yeah, you probably could try that. I don't know. Doctor.
What are you saying? Disconnect the iPad and come in.
Yes, man. Try that. Try that, cause you could. No, don't do a phone call. Just don't do a phone call. Just come in on the phone. We see your face already. So no matter how you look.
It's okay. Just come in.
Come in on the phone. We don't want to spend too much time on trying to deal with the technical issues. Come in on your phone. Yes. So while we wait for Mr. Larson to return, I'm trying to remember where we was.
No. Can I say this though? Let's just get something in context. The thing is happening in Washington, D.C. from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's a protest. Anybody can come and listen and what have you. And we're encouraging people. They're coming from all over to be there. There's a Caribbean Heritage Week that is happening right now. It's we have a what they call it, a Caribbean Heritage. Thank you, Titus. Week that is happening. And they're going to celebrate it. So we are celebrating ourselves while we're talking about Jamaica. That's all. All right?
But what Titus said here is it's okay to have issues with Jamaica, but tell it to Jamaica, meaning
that's exactly
that
what we're doing.
But that statement, respectfully, is not holding any waters when we are in a global village. These days, even if you did this protest in Jamaica, everybody around the world is still going to see it. They're going to hear it because social media is just at the tip of our fingers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what's that?
Why? I would like to ask Mr. Titus, if you could get a call in, why is it that people don't want us to talk about Jamaica?
I think you should come in on your phone.
We can send our money to Jamaica. We can do this. We can do that. We can medical help. We can do everything else, and we cannot say anything to Jamaica. Why is Jamaica so special? The politicians, not the people.
Special needs.
Mr. Speed, I tell you something. I don't know what to tell you because I can't understand it at all. We send so much funds, so much funding to Jamaica. When you look at us globally, and yet when it comes to giving an opinion, they don't want to hear it. They say we have left Jamaica, we run away. Do I look like I run away?
So you're saying if Titus could have called in and
which Titus is that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Mark Titus?
No, it said doing big.
Okay. It really doesn't matter. But I'm saying doing the protest in Jamaica or doing it abroad, the people live abroad. The people have easier access to this space rather than taking an airplane to go down to Jamaica to do it in front of Garden House. They are here in the US already. They can sacrifice a week to go down there. Maybe they can sacrifice 2 hours, 1 hour to go to that protest. Why is it that is an issue? My issue would be, and the sensible thing to talk about would be whether or not these protesters are telling lies, whether they are truthful. If it is that whatever they are speaking about is representative of the facts.
Right.
What kind of issues are we having?
I think I wish Mr. Lasso would. This is
You see,
definitely a problem.
I draw a parallel, and we have to keep the show running.
Yeah, keep
Mr.
it going. Keep it going.
I draw a parallel to when I was the president of the Jamaica Teachers Association. And I always will do, because one of the things they could not say when they were criticizing me because of some of the comments and some of the demands I was making on the government to do things for the education sector and for the kids, the children, the teachers around the country. One of the things that they couldn't say, none of them, no matter how they tried to attack me, they could not say I wasn't speaking the truth.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Well, let me ask you something, let me ask you something, Mr. Speed. If we have a problem in Jamaica, are the things that we are highlighting now, that I mean these protesters are highlighting, are they new to Jamaica?
If we go down that road,
Is corruption new to Jamaica?
it's at its worst now. But if we, but
how you mean it's at its worst now?
Yes, it is.
No, come on, Mr. Speed. Let's be honest, man.
It is clear.
No, come on.
It is clear.
Net serve. Come on. Look,
The facts.
listen. It is.
Miss-
Listen. Let us. I do not think.
George is getting cut in.
No. None of the current member of the opposition party have the moral authority to be attacking
What?
corruption. No.
That's not true.
Listen, the corruption that we have seen in the past, we have seen what
This-
was not Operation
listen,
Pride. We have
this-
looked at Operation Pride, $500 million was spent, went down the drain there. Not a single person was held accountable for it. Net serve, we have seen so much. Come on, Mr. Speed. Some years ago, I wrote an article in the Jamaica Observer. I think it was, I don't remember which year it was. But let me tell you something. When we look at all the level of corruption in the country that we have witnessed, if we want to get let us be truthful about it. What I witnessed in the 1990s coming up to 2000, into the 2000s, when you look back at all the natural disasters we have in Jamaica, it wasn't even quarter what it cost the country. The corruption that we went. No. That's the corruption we went through there.
When you look at hold on.
Something. Where was your voice and other the voices that are making noise now? Not all the noise now that they're making.
All right, let me tell you.
No. Hold on. Where were they when we were experiencing the level of corruption we were experiencing in Jamaica back then? What happened to them those voices back there? Did somebody put a padlock around?
All right. But if you ask,
give me an opportunity to answer the question, sir.
But if you ask a question, then you allow somebody to answer, because if you ask, number one is when people are making constructive criticisms, you don't call it noise. That's one. Two is that where was I? I am writing articles for the Observer and the Gleaner, and that's well documented from 2002. And
you attack corruption.
I dealt with everything. At one stage, hold on, listen, no man. But if you ask me, no cross stop me, because me I go talk. If you ask me, what I think it means is that if you ask me,
allow him to respond, please. Allow him to respond,
right.
please.
So allow me to finish my response, and then you add something else. But the strategy that the Jamaica Labour Party uses, and what I've seen the Minister of Finance use, is that once they ask for something, they just keep talking to get rid of what you are replying to say. But I am going to say it anyway. One of the things that I remember one of the times Ronald Thwaites talked about and mentioned that the JTA is a garrison. Yeah? Ronald Thwaites is on the PNP side. And I had to put him in the naughty corner for quite a while with it, because I showed him that there's no development in Central Kingston since he took over. But the people continue to vote for him. I said that to him in his face. The people, that is what you call a garrison.
Why was he described? Like quickly before you go, I just want to jump in. A quick question. Why did he refer to the JT as a garrison?
So last, give him an opportunity. Let it finish. Let it finish, and then
George, you are not going to, and I'm going to try to be as calm as possible. You are not going to ask me a question and then try to distract me from providing the proper answer to your question by cutting across me every time I try to speak.
All right.
If I ask you a question, I will allow you to speak and answer in totality. I am saying to you that I have been writing articles, stinging articles, criticizing, asking for things for the education sector in particular, dealing with corruption in all of the ministries that I've known and across both administrations. Let me make that clear. What I want to also add to that is that this administration has proven itself in a very short time. They didn't have 18 years, but they have now 16, maybe. They have now 12 or 13 out of the last 16 years in power. And they have shown themselves to be barefaced in the level of corruption that we are seeing, even when they are the same ones who put watchdogs and some committees and all of these PACs and all of these things in place. They have decided to break the law almost at every single step of the way. You find that right now there's argument that there's an MP from their side in Parliament who has dual citizenship, even though it's against the law. These little things, the small things that we ignore, are what is those are the things that send the message to the younger generation. And when they grow up, what do you expect?
All right.
And if we continue to go back and say, oh, well, the PNP was corrupt, so these can continue to be corrupt, what kind of country we expect to have in a few years from now?
Last thing you want to respond to?
Mr. Speed, why did Randy Tweed refer to the JT?
Because they are always fearful of the JT. We have 30,000 members, and we are probably the strongest union in the Western Hemisphere.
You know, this afternoon I hear Mr. Cliff Hughes, and the news with and NNN with the permanent secretary. And he used the same term, refer to the JT as a garrison.
Yes, he and running.
All right, you were complaining that I'm talking over you, so you must give me a chance to talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
We are. Come on, Mr. Speed. When we hear certain utterances from the JTA, I was a teacher in Jamaica. I was a member of the JTA, right? When the JTA makes certain utterances at time, you see, one asks if they are really doing it. I mean, the way they sensationalize some of the issues, you really wonder if they are what is their motive for doing it.
Give me an example.
The JTA, I'm going to tell you something. The JTA, let's be realistic about it. Everybody knows the JTA is an affiliate.
No, that's a blanket statement.
It is an affiliate of the JTA and the PNP. You go back to the days of Faye Sanders. Faye Sanders was president of the JTA. She became Secretary General later on. She was a senator, PNP senator. DC Daskine, who was a president of the JTA, he was a PNP senator later on. What's the other one down in there was this other one down in
Royal Reid.
Not Royal Reid, the other one we have had Royal Reid, who is a Jamaica Labour Party senator later on. We have had listen, we have had Hugh Dawes, who was a JLP senator as well. But when you look at it, I remember the late Hugh Dawes, a very good friend of mine. Before Hugh Dawes became president of the JTA, everybody was hugging up Hugh Dawes. Later on, when it was revealed that Hugh Dawes was sympathetic to the Labour Party, if they could stone him like how they stoned Stephen to death, they would have done it. Everybody knows Mr. Speed, and let's be realistic about it. You yourself know that. Weren't you out there trying to run for a seat recently? What happened to your effort as to become the standard bearer for the PNP in Eastern Portland, I think.
Is that question relevant to what?
Listen, everybody, we all know the history of the JT. You're talking about
but you have not given, in fairness to the JTA now though, you have not given one example of why you said you support the point that the JTA is a garrison. Any 5-year-old at a primary school, a kindergarten school could say the JTA is a garrison, but give me an example.
Can I say
listen, anytime the Labour Party is in power, well, let me finish. Anytime the Labour Party is in power, the force with the JTA try to throw a monkey wrench in anything any of the ministers of education are making an effort to get done.
Give me an example.
Labour Party Minister of Education.
Give me an example. Give me an example, or it's an argument can't hold any water.
Give you an example. You want me to give you an example? All right. You want me to give you an example? Mm.
Yes.
In the
go ahead with an example.
When we are now.
Mm-hmm.
In the 1980s, you remember what happened at the JTA school? I'm sorry, the JAS school at Twickenham, was it Twickenham Park? You remember what happened?
Who was the president?
Who was the president?
Yes. Which year and who was the president?
Don't remember who
and what happened?
The Minister of Education at the time was Dr. Mavis Gilmore. What happened? The Jason, when it even be in a shadow of a that they were up there, and I am sure Captain Francis can bear me out on this one. When it was proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that the school was being used as a communist camp up there, we were close to Cuba at the time. And hold on. We were closely allied to Cuba. It was not just a government to come on.
Wild allegations.
Interrupt me, then I will. Come on.
No. Hold on, Mr. Speed. Allow him. Mr. Larson.
Mr. Speed, don't be rude, Mr. Speed.
No.
You're rude now. You were complicit. No. You're in a chance. So let me finish talking. Everybody know the JTA was formed maybe before your time, long before your time. You might have been a little fellow in chance, maybe before you were born. When the JTA was formed, everybody formed to go up against the late Edwin Allen. Like HR by Titus and all the others. You want to tell me that you are not aware of that? The JTA, I mean, look how many of you use the JTA as a springboard to get into parliament. You're a prime example. Not so long ago, you were out. What happened to your effort out there in Portland?
Mr. Larson, please, we don't want any personal.
No. Allow him.
No, hold on. Can I hold on.
An educator said to me,
Mr. Larson,
making those comments.
Mr. Larson, hold on, please.
No, let me finish. An educator said to me, an educator, you hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
An educator said to me, first, so when
so breaking up. Mr. Larson, you start breaking up again, sir. Just give us a minute. Give me a minute, Mr. Larson. You're making a comment. Go ahead with your comment.
I just want to say that, listen to me. I've been around a long time. It's like my friend George Lawson. And corruption is not different. Corruption is not different. But it has exceeded my expectations for Jamaica. And I talk with, and I'm from the same. I represented Jamaica Labour Party, and I have friends in the and family in the People's National Party, and I stood toe to toe at the time for what I believed in, but never has anybody ever come out and said that I'm a name caller. I attack personalities and people and all that sort of thing. I am always been for Jamaica. And the moment I said something against what is going on for the party that I represented for 40 years, I was suddenly thrown into the gutter. And gutter politics started. And I do not know why these type of things have to happen. I think George is talking from a historical context. But at the same time, when you have some people who are commenting, and I'd like to encourage you people who are commenting to think outside the box and stop thinking about the past. Let's think about the future, how we move forward. Yes, there are many people who come from JTA and all over to become. I came from the military. And rather than stay in the military and become political, I came out and I declared my hand. And many times I was offered things in terms of representation. I told them no until I decided to do it, and then I never won. Eventually, I couldn't get at work in my country, and so I left in 1999. The point, I mean, not to put my country behind, because since then I spent more money on my country than when I was down there before, and I still do. I want people to understand, like Mr. Titus was sending in his thing, saying that everybody's corrupt. What an asked question. What are you doing? What are you seriously doing to make sure that Jamaica remains Jamaica for the next 10 years? We have built some wonderful roads, right? We have built some hotels. Most of the money is going abroad. It's not serving our country. Are we going to sit by it regardless and say, oh, that man's a pimp, this one, so we're not going to listen to them? It doesn't make sense. Okay? I do not label people, although you can label me. I believe in equal rights and justice, the real equal rights and justice for all, not just for some. Okay?
Right.
I believe that everyone, and I can say it right out loud still. I'm more labor than them thief in one, them more one like say them not thief. And I can call it out, I'm not afraid.
Let us not call it out. But I want to, because the protest is coming up, I want to really talk a little bit about that. And I'm going to ask Mr. Lawson, what is your issue?
Because 1 second, Mr. Sutherland, you mind if I ask Mr. Francis a question?
All right, go ahead and ask
Mr. Francis. You spoke about the hotels. You've talked about the hotels in Jamaica. Yeah, me talk about the hotel being built in Jamaica. And we're making a lot of money from tourism. You're saying most of the money is not staying in the country.
That's correct.
Foreign investors. You expect foreign investors to have the money in the country, Mr. Francis?
Let me ask you, George. The fact of the matter is the farmers.
Hello?
No,
just answer my question. Would you expect... No. Would you expect these foreign investors...
Oh, yeah. I expect them to get a profit. But I don't expect them to take back all the profit and won't leave it here. Leave some here.
Country. You expect them to... But what, how much more do you expect? I mean, had it not been for tourism, what would have happened to the country today?
What? No, man. Hold on. Josh, don't forget.
The biggest foreign exchange earner, it's tourism and remittance, Mr. Tourism around. I don't know about Mr. Speed. I don't know about Mr. Sutherland. You were around. I was around back then. You remember what happened when all those hotels folded in Jamaica? The government took them over in the 70s. What happened? You remember what happened back then?
I remember, yes, because
You remember when the government took over all the hotels, them?
Yeah, I remember.
For me, who don't know,
when the tourist industry died in Jamaica, what happened to the country? We were not producing bauxite. The bauxite companies, they ran out of the country. The bauxite company ran out of the country. We lost Revere. Alcan shut down. Alpart cut back, right? And I think Reynolds cut back as well. When after Mr. Manley formed the International Bauxite Association, what happened to the country back then, Mr. Francis? 8 years of negative growth. You were there. You were in the army. I was there. We witnessed it.
Let me say this. I remember, George, I worked for a bauxite company.
Listen, old Jamaican parlance says a piece of bread is better than none at all. What happened if we never have foreign investment?
Hold on, George. Can you hold on a second?
The country, the hotels that are being built. Wait. The hotels that are being built.
Sir Larson, please. You ask the question, give him the opportunity to answer, please.
First of all, I worked for Reynolds Jamaica Mines. My father did too. Okay? And that's how I actually got into the army eventually through Captain, whatever his name is, Captain. I just won't get back the name. However, but what I'm saying, these at that time were getting some money from bauxite. Right now they are getting more bauxite than ever, and they're not paying the country nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's a matter of fact. How is it you can be taking all and destroy our environment? And no, they ain't getting nothing, George. Nothing. It's a fact.
Give Mr. Speaker. He's been quiet for a while, and I see Look.
Now let me just finish. Let me just clear up something, Dr. Francis. You recall that in the 1970s, I remember what year it was, could have been about 1974. You remember the windfall that we reaped from the bauxite, the tax levy legislated by the Michael Manley government. You remember what happened? $200 million, right? What happened to that money?
How you mean what happened to that money?
We made a lot of money from bauxite back then, much more than what we were making when you got into the army, when your people got you into the army. So what happened to all that money?
I cannot tell you. I know that
$200 million. Whatever. You remember what happened to that money?
Tell me. You tell me.
No, you remember what happened to that money?
Tell me.
You remember the crash program work? You remember the program work? You remember the millions of dollars that was wasted in the crash program work in the more so in the city? Millions of dollars we were spending the money that we got from that windfall like a drunken sailor and shore leave. What happened to the country? The bauxite company started cutting. Foreign investors left the country. What happened to the country? We're not producing anything, right? No, Mr. Francis, you know that there's not much production in Jamaica, right? Apart from tourism and tourism and remittance from those of us abroad here who are sending it out there. What would have happened if those foreign investors were not in the country? Leaving. Like you said, they are not leaving much of the money. I heard that it's about 40 cents to every dollar that they earn out there. What happened if we were not getting that 40 cents today?
Well, to be quite honest, I don't know if they're getting 40 cents right now, to be quite honest with what I'm seeing. And they're getting everything tax-free coming into the island. However, this is not about the way
we want to get back to something more correct.
Don't forget, Dennis, the Chinese brought in a lot of money, and what did we give them? We give them quite a bit of land and what have you. That we are still paying for the roads and all that from the Chinese. And these are the things that are affecting us right now. Okay, so whatever money we make, the Chinese came in and they took over the road and they destroyed the aquifers with the roads, nice roads, but right now our water efficacy is poor in the country as far as I'm understanding from people who know, and that is why we're having serious problems during the drought, even more than we had before. So listen, with good comes bad and what have you. But let's talk. Just stop talking about.
I want to get to. I want to get to.
No, that's why we have been that problem. You know the infrastructure. You know the infrastructure improvement being needed. Last week I heard me.
Look, it's a last one. It's a last one. I have to get. Let us get back to what is at hand. I hear all your historic views, and I think to some degree it is important. But I want to hear your personal view. What is your problem and the protest that is about to take place on the 15th, Saturday the 15th? There are Jamaicans as
protest that is taking place, Mr. Sutherland, right? If we have a problem about it in Jamaica, we don't have to drag the Jamaican flag into the gutter up here. I don't believe we need to do that. I don't believe it's a good thing for us to be bad mouthing of a country. That's what happened down in what happened in Manhattan recently. The protest that they had up here. I wasn't in Florida. I heard about it, and I heard about what transpired up here in New York. Let us be upfront about it. It's a political war. Yeah, people are not really standing up for Jamaica. When we have people badmouthing Jamaica like that, and the foreign press, man,
I have seen. Sorry to cut you, Mr. Larson.
When we start badmouthing abroad like that, the personal attacks that have been made and people, in government, the name calling and everything. This is done, brand Jamaica.
I have been to.
RUPERT, that's what he's doing. I agree with him. If he has a problem, then with the leaders of the country, why are we into the street to have the foreign start foreign us? What's gonna happen? We stop going. What's gonna happen? Stop in country.
Hola, Mr. Larson. Hola.
Money out there to really put up the kind of investment to put about using the tourist industry. What kind of message?
Mr. Larson.
You remember
Mr. Larson.
France.
Mr. Larson.
Publicity, the content in the foreign press.
Sir Larson, we're having a little issue and it's very distracting as I am here trying to manage everything that's going on. Hello?
We are not hearing anything because the two TVs are on.
You know what? I tried to remove one, and when I tried to remove it caused a little problem. I don't know. I tried to remove it. Mr. Speed. One of the things that I heard Mr. Speed said is that. Yeah, let me see. One of them, I have to unmute one of them. I don't know. Mr. Larson, are you here? He's having a. There's just. I don't know. It's just not good.
You're coming in choppy again. I don't know what happened. Very choppy.
It's definitely on your side. One other thing that I heard Mr. said is that if people
I'm barely hearing you. There's some. It seems like there's some.
George, mute yourself a little bit, George. Mute yourself.
Mr. Speed said if I'm trying. One of Mr. Larson device is just giving problem, and it's really distracting to what's going on here, and it's messing up the flow of the show. But one of the things I heard Mr. Speed said is that if the protest is legit, you think the people have the right to do it. I have been there, and I heard people with legitimate concern.
It's on
Mr. Larson
right now.
Yeah, Mr. Larson alluding to the fact that we're hearing you, sir. There's Mr. Larson alluding to the fact that the people, the genuine people that are out there, that are protesting, are they misled? Is that what you're implying, Mr. Larson? I don't know what's going on.
Mr. Speed was saying something else then.
Mr. Speed, I'm trying to get that Mr. Speed into the rhythm of it. We only have a few more minutes to go. Mr. Speed.
I am here and I'm just listening, because one of the things I don't like is when people make broad statements and come to make hasty generalizations which they cannot support at all, and the data is there in front of them before. And one of the things I've noticed is that this government is very good at using distractions all the time. I saw Rhoda Crawford, she went on an interview, and instead of, this is a candidate who lost almost everything in the last local government election, which means that there's a message sent to her. And instead of trying to deal with the people's concerns and the legitimate issues, she did a very long interview talking about her love triangle in quotation marks and whatever else it is. The Prime Minister has failed to bring forward his thing to the Integrity Commission for 3 years. We have a Prime Minister like that leading the country. We have a case where Ruel Reid, he was brought before the court, and it's going 5 years now since he was arrested and charged. And 5 years later, you're hearing nothing. But if a man goes over here and picks some ackee up at King's house, he's locked up immediately, he's tried, he's sentenced immediately. These things are happening under barefaced leadership and management, mismanagement, I call it. And I don't want anybody to cut across me when I'm talking. I'm saying these things because I sat there and I listened for very long, quietly, not talking, listening. And this is what some people do.
Mr. Larson.
This is what the supporters of the government that is in power now, that's what they do. They try to distract. Instead of the Prime Minister coming on to talk in Parliament about what issues, how he's going to improve education, health, the physical infrastructure, the national security of the country. People are going to the hospitals and they are lying down on corridors, in the hallways, on the tree with bags on them and that kind of thing, with oxygen, whatever. They can't get a comfortable space in the hospital. Everybody wants everybody else must to keep quiet. If Mr. Lawson is having a problem with and other people are having problem with where the people go to demonstrate or have their little protest action in the US, then all they need to do is come together and pay the plane fare for those people to come down to Jamaica to do it. Because people live in America, they work in America, it's the place that they are, that's the space that they have access to quickly. And they can come in and spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes and go back about their business to go back to their jobs. That is how the place is going to run. You're going to find that this is a global village that we're in. So if you protest in front of Garden House or in front of the Ministry of Education or National Security in Jamaica, it's no different from if you protest in the middle of New York, because information is information age we are in. And immediately as you do that, whatever the international press wants to go viral, they're going to take it still and carry it viral. So it's pointless talking about where the protest action is taking place. If the thing is legitimate and the people have legitimate concerns, stop watering it down by using politics to say it's politics people playing. Because I've seen it and I've heard it, and that is what is retarding the growth of the country. Jamaica is one country that is experiencing a little bit of growth here and there. But the growth, that economic growth is not manifest in the economic development of the people. And we cannot go around that. That's a fact. Every day people call me every day. I talk to people every day. I just talk to one. I send some funds for the lady, and the lady was quick to say, thank you, I'm going to the doctor. No.
So what the point that you're making is that it is quite possible that the protesters have legitimate concern for protest, and it does not matter
which government. It doesn't matter which government. They have the freedom. It doesn't matter who is in power to be disingenuous about it, to say, oh, where were you before? You needed to have known where I was. I was in the Gleaner almost every week as a guest columnist for the Observer, and I wrote about all the issues that came on the radio, because when they saw the articles, they carried me on. Every single thing, corruption and everything. It doesn't matter the extent of my vocality. If I am vocal, if you're cutting across me now, sir, I sat here and I listened. I listened intently. I was quiet. You spoke. It's my turn. It's my turn. And you're not going to do me like what I saw Nigel Clark doing with Diane Jackson Miller. She was trying to say something and it was over her, all over her. I need to speak when I need to speak, and I listened to all of you speak. I was very quiet.
Hold on, Mr. Larson. Mr. Larson.
You need to listen, don't interrupt me.
I don't know what's going on. Mr. Larson.
Let me clear one more thing.
Mr. Larson.
Not good. You can encourage.
I need to clear one more thing. That's what you do from these people who support the Jamaica Labour Party. That's what you do. Listen to him.
Mr. Larson.
That's what you get out of these people who support the Jamaica Labour Party. Dennis, let me tell you, Dennis, may I, for the listeners, let me say this to you. Let me say this to all of you. Whether I get a seat to run in Parliament or not, I am well off. Whether I get a seat to run in Parliament or not, and I see the issues confronting me and facing Jamaica, I'm going to speak about them. I am going to speak about them because we have the leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, who happens to be the Prime Minister of Jamaica. He has serious issues in terms of integrity, and it's manifest in the way he cannot even provide that document to let the Integrity Commission look at it and say whether or not his papers, his paperwork, his statutory deductions are up to scratch. He cannot do that for 3 years, right? I am going to tell you and all of Jamaica and the world that I did not need the JTA to run in politics, because I've seen people even in Eastern Portland right now with very little or no qualification, and they are MPs and they run for MP. So I did not need the JTA. I was a school principal. I came up through the ranks, and I do many other things. I was the head of a tertiary level institution, the Western Carolina Jamaica program. Ask them about that. So I did not need the JTA. So to talk about JTA's garrison and all of that, that's your business.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Speed. Mr. Speed, I'm gonna mute your mic for a second because I don't want the outburst. Mr. Larson. Mr. Larson. Mr. Larson.
No. What happened down in East Portland? I'm still asking you that question. You were encouraging the teachers.
Mr. Larson, we cannot.
I mean, it was very irresponsible of you. You see, I think to be encouraging teachers to lead a poor country.
No, Mr. Larson.
The teachers to lead the country. When you lead, when you know the damage
Mr. Larson,
with the brain drain
Mr. Larson,
done to the country.
Mr. Larson,
this time around.
Mr. Larson, I'm asking you, sir. Let us just be respectful to the guests. We don't need to have any personal attack. And we spoke about that before the show. I try to be balanced and try to.
It's not a personal attack, but you know the way. The way Mr. Speed.
Let us not get emotional about it.
Can I ask this question?
Mr. Larson, you know what? I'm gonna just end the show in the next 5 minutes. Dr. Francis, I'm gonna allow you to.
The PNP got into power.
Dr. Mr. Larson, hold on a second, please.
Come on,
Mr. Larson, hold on a second, please. I'm gonna allow Dr. Francis to ask a question. And whoever he asks a question to, I'm going to allow that person to respond, and we're going to be ending the show. We already gone over an hour. The intent of the show was to be about 34 minutes. We already gone over an hour. I'm going to give Dr. Francis an opportunity to ask this question, and we'll give everybody the opportunity to give their final thoughts, and we move on, because honestly, I'm not so in favor of the flavor of the show right now, where I feel like persons are being personally attacked. I don't want to be that. So Dr. Francis, go ahead.
I just want to say that right now, what is most important is Jamaica. Some of the past, we must not forget the past, but certainly we have to put it aside, because the future is more important than the past.
Okay. And
I want to also say that a lot of people are leaving Jamaica not because they are because of necessarily some of politics, but the crime and many other things. They cannot get along. They can't pay their bills, and they go to these countries to work money to send back home to assist in the development of the country. I dare anyone to say that I have not done that in the time that I left my country, because I couldn't get a job, and I'm not blaming anybody for that. It was just the way the place is, that there are people out there who will punish you and talk about you because of what you have done in terms of previously, and will not even give you a job. So I couldn't have stayed there to get a job. And many people who are now leaving, doctors and nurses. It's a problem that we have to find a way to keep them and attract them. How can we get people from other countries and pay them more than we are paying our own people? How can we not have proper education for our young people from early childhood education? How can we not have hospitals? If we are sick, we cannot get into the hospitals. We don't have a burn unit. We don't have so many different things. If we're talking about progress, regardless of who is there, it does not matter whether you're JLP or you're PNP. I had girlfriends, and I didn't ask them if they were JLP or PNP. You know what I mean? What can I tell you? Enjoy yourself if you want to. It doesn't have to be a JLP or PNP platform. I am asking those persons who are interested in the growth of Jamaica and the future of Jamaica to come out and hear their views in a non-contentious way. I want to thank my friend George Lawson for coming on. And at least he recognizes the type of relationship we had. I hope, however, that he would have given us an opportunity to really explore the problems that occur in Jamaica. It's not his fault, and it's not my fault. But the fact of the matter is, we do have a big problem. Thank everybody for listening in, and thank you.
Thank you, let me give Mr. Speed an opportunity to give his final thoughts, because like I said, I'm gonna have to end the show based off. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Speed, with your final thoughts.
Well, I'm still just laughing. I'm finding some of these comments funny and just crazy too. But Dr. Francis, I don't know if you paid anybody to join that protest, the last one that you guys had. If you did, then it is something else. But if you didn't, then it would mean that other people are sharing the same sentiments. And the sample size of those who protested against the ones who counter protested, it says something as well. But I say to you, Dr. Francis, if you are seeing things that are going wrong, whether the PNP did it some years ago, the JLP is now in power for going in its 9th year in power, consecutive years in power. And if the PNP was doing so much wrong in their time, the expectation now is that the JLP should try to right some of those wrongs and move the country forward. We can't keep dwelling in what happened in the past. And definitely, for good governance and good leadership of a country like Jamaica, it is going to need people who have eyes to see and who will see, and who have ears to hear and will hear, and who have a mouth to speak from. And they should speak if they see things going wrong. I have no problem with the protest if they want to protest. Once it's peaceful, once it's respectful, I am comfortable with it.
Thank you very much, sir. I just want to say to the viewers and listeners of this program to just like, share, and subscribe. I must say thank you, Mr. Speed, for your final thoughts, and Dr. Francis. I'm going to give Mr. Lawson the opportunity to give us his final thoughts. Mr. Lawson, are you there, sir?
Yeah, I'm here. I just want to ask Dr. Francis one question. Dr. Francis, all those things that we need in Jamaica, good hospital, good roads, proper education, etc., etc. Many of it, right? We get help from foreign donors, right?
Yes.
Do you think it's appropriate for you guys to be out there encouraging foreign government not to continue making donations to Jamaica to help in funding any programs that we might need out there? I mean, if we do something like that, what's going to happen to the country? Is it going to hurt the?
Can I answer your question? We have not encouraged any foreign donors. We have not encouraged any foreign donors.
Listen, there are members in your group,
Dr. Francis,
that has to stop. Another thing that has to stop. And I agree with Mr. Speed's statement. I mean, I may not see with him eye to eye with him and everything. We all want to see a better Jamaica. He said, he was talking about the PNP spending 18.5 years in power, and if they were doing so bad, why would they have been voted over and over into power? Well, we know what was happening. There was a split in the Labour Party. People did not trust the Labour Party. Just like how there was a big split in the PNP in the 2020 general election, and people went out in drove, and they decided that it was not in the best interest of the country for them to be electing a party that doesn't have its house in order. We know that. And at the end of the day, I'm going to say this: it's Jamaica, land we love. And I don't think I don't have any problem with people going out there and protesting. But you must be very mindful of one thing. If the protest is a destructive protest and not one you could consider a constructive one, then you're not helping the country. You are hurting the people. The people. And let me tell you something. I'm older than you, Mr. Sutherland, older than Mr. Speed. Dr. Francis is older than me, but Dr. Francis and myself have witnessed the ravage that the country went through in the 70s. Do we want to go back to that time? Do we want to go back to that period when we didn't have any gasoline?
And it is.
We want to go back to the point where the police were out guns. Hold on. Dr. Francis was a captain in the Jamaica Defense Force at the time. What if your unit had not gone out there, Dr. Francis, to help the police? What would have happened back then?
Dr. Larson, this was supposed to be a final thought because we have to wrap up the show. No,
I hope we don't go back down there. Mr. Speed,
all right.
Nice meeting you, sir. Even though we disagreed, Dr. Francis and myself disagreed. a lot of things, but we are good friends. We still
I love
remain
him.
good friends.
I love George. I love everybody.
All right.
No, I told him and friends are people who stare you in the face and tell you the truth. Right, Rupert?
Absolutely. I agree with George. Thank
All
you.
right.
One love, one heart, one life.
All right.
Brother
Mr. Speed, Mr. Larson, and Dr. Francis, thank you very much to come and be a part of the show tonight. For the viewers and listeners, please like, share, and continue to subscribe and make sure this channel go places because we have a lot more
Make sure
to
them
come.
turn up. Make sure them turn up on Saturday at 9 o'clock in front of the embassy in DC.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. You guys take care and have a good night.
All right.
Thank you.
Mr. Speed,
again.
when you become